The sun was a painter, spilling its final, richest colors across the canvas of the sky. Hues of deep orange, soft, blushing pink bled into one another, creating a masterpiece that held the city in a moment of breathless quiet. The sea below was a mirror of polished glass, holding the sky's warmth in its calm, steady surface. Most of the city's lights had not yet woken up. High above the slowly darkening streets, in a small flat filled with the day's last golden light, a phone lay on a simple wooden table. It vibrated suddenly, a small, insistent buzz against the wood. A name, Marco, illuminated the screen. Then, just as quickly, it stopped. Missed call. Anna discovered it a few moments later, her hands still slightly damp from washing a single porcelain cup. She dried them carefully on a soft towel. Their two worlds, though separated by the city's sprawling geography, felt impossibly close through the small, glowing rectangles they both held. Anna's world was one of quiet order and soft textures, the smooth, cool ceramic of the cup she had just washed, the familiar weight of the book on her nightstand, and the gentle scent of lavender that lingered in her small, tidy apartment. Her days were a careful composition of creative work, punctuated by moments of solitary peace. She found joy in small details, light across the floor, the taste of her first tea, the click of a completed project. Marco's world, in contrast, was one of movement and open spaces. He walked the winding paths, listening to leaves rustle in the wind, and sketched spaces for others, noticing the small things, brick patterns, twilight blue, a stranger's laugh. The river flowed on, indifferent to the small human drama on its bank. Marco remained on the bench. The air grew cooler as the last warmth retreated. He checked his phone again. Still dark, still quiet. No new message, no returned call. Maybe just a short text to say she was busy. He thought about the second call, the silly question about a blue sweater. He'd tried to capture the evening's magic in words, water's color, light on windows. Her voice was soft and clear. A reply to a funny dog, a note about a painting. Listening was a balm, proof the connection was real, even as silence deepened. Warm recorded voice against a cold, quiet phone, a gentle, melancholic thrum. He breathed, watched the lamps glow gold along the river, and waited. Their connection was born from a single shared moment in a small gallery. An accidental harmony, a brief electric second, a polite apology turned into a shared observation, and then a smile. It blossomed into an hour over coffee, rain on the glass, warmth within. No awkward silences, simple joys, absurdities, terrible childhood haircuts. Old buildings and their stories, patterns on a discarded teacup. They planned to watch the same sun, then decided to meet by the river. But life interrupted. A last-minute revision, attention demanded. Minutes stretched into evening. He called once, a hello. Twice, a small worry. Silence, a bench without her. The evening slipped away. Even when carefully laid plans unravel, small intangible things remain. Light crossing a face, the precise sound of a laugh, an echo that stays. Tiny imperfections, small dark marks on a well-loved mug, a grounding touch, thoughts drifting back to the gallery, his reverent look, disappointment, missed sunset, missed meeting. Meanwhile, he walked to a quiet hill he cherished, hearing hope, a hint of nerves, a small optimistic laugh, soft joy, a small creeping fear. What if the missed calls weren't accidents? He looks at the river, thinks of the painting, and hope resurfaces. The blue sweater waits, a soft, woolen bundle of hope, a sudden burst of hope. I am here. Sunset is beautiful. Are you near? Section 6. Small signs in a fading light. Missed calls are such curious modern phenomena. Small, ghostly lights that appear and disappear. They signify a thought, a brief impulse from one person to another. A bird across the city, finding an empty perch. Once gone, only a faint trace remains. For Anna, it felt like a small wave washing onto the shore of her evening. For Marco, it was a thin rope he held. He had cast it, hoping she would take the other end. The city pulsed. The day's labor ended. In her apartment, Anna made a decision. She wanted to go. She took a breath, left the plate, grabbed her keys, and she ran. The short walk to the hill felt like a journey. The air had grown cool, carrying the fresh scent of the nearby ocean. The sky bruised to purple, the river glittered, the bridge arched darkly. And then she saw him. He turned as if he'd heard her coming. For a suspended second, their eyes met. The last line of sun gilded the water. The city moved on, but here, a perfect quiet. The missed calls, worries, questions, they dissipated. They talked, not of grand topics, but of the small things that make up a life. They began to walk, their steps falling into an easy rhythm. The last light faded, the world turned blue, then silver. Their hands almost touched, a feather-light brush, then found each other and held on. A quiet confirmation that felt utterly right. They watched a long, slender boat glide across a velvet mirror. It was then he remembered the sweater.
I thought you might be cold.
I'm not.
Despite her words, she slipped it on. Sleeves just right, shoulders settled, a quiet promise. Night settled, early stars revealed themselves. They lingered, not ready to end the evening.
Can we try again tomorrow?
Yes, same time, sunset?
A small, simple plan, warm and enough. On her lamplit walk, she checked her phone. No new missed calls. The phone had been catalyst, anxiety, and bridge. He wrote, "Tonight was good. See you tomorrow," and sent a tiny bird into the night. Some stories begin with a whisper, with missed calls and a sunset, a bright sky, and the simple, beautiful choice to try again.